U.S. accounts for only 0.1% of global shipbuilding. 0.1%.
China wakes up and they're like, you know what? We're going to win today. So
could you say that again?
Over 5,000 commercially flagged vessels, 737 and all the drones.
Yeah, all the doors open, the drones all carries up to 100 drones, I think I read.
They're military solutions specifically to counter the U.S.
In 1943, we built 18,000 ships. In 2023, we built 8 and retired 12 for a -4. And the U.S. accounts for only 0.1% of global shipbuilding. 0.1%.
Crazy. It's crazy. In World War II, I'll give you another stat. We commissioned over 100 aircraft carriers between 1942 and 1945. Today, an aircraft carrier costs $10 billion as a baseline. The budget estimate actually went up to $13 billion.
Jeez.
But more importantly, they take over 10 years to make. A decade to make one. Our entire involvement in World War II was 4 years long. So not only are they wildly expensive, but you can't afford... Take human life out of the equation for just a second, because I'm sure we'll talk about that a bunch. You can't afford to lose one because you cannot get another one.
It scares the hell out of me, man.
It's crazy.
It just seems like we're falling behind on everything. And we'll get into this too, but just, at breakfast, we were talking about all the bureaucracy and the red tape that entrepreneurs have to go through. And you would think that would be, you would think they would fast track national defense, but it sounds like it's even more of a pain in the ass than just being a regular entrepreneur. And I mean, like you just said, by the time and we'll get into this more too, but by the time the stuff even gets approved to be built, let alone being built, I mean, it's already obsolete.
So if you look at what China has done, look, they're outbuilding the Navy, the U.S. Navy, in terms of combatant ships, 3x to 1, right? We'll go through all the stats on the Chinese fleet and the U.S. fleet and kind of what all that looks like when we talk Saronic. But they're outbuilding on just a military capacity today, 3x to 1. But they actually have 230 times our shipbuilding capacity. They have over 5,000 commercially flagged vessels when the U.S. has less than 100. So
could you say that again?
Over 5,000 commercially flagged vessels to the U.S. having less than 100. So now, go back to the World War II example, and let me ask you this question. You have 230 times the shipbuilding capacity. Mm-hmm. Only a portion of that shipbuilding capacity is being used for military and defense. The rest is commercial. What do you think happens to all of that commercial capacity when the first shot's fired?
It's done.
It gets converted to defense.
I mean, just to play devil's advocate just a little bit here, because the first thing that pops in my head, did you say 35,000 to 100? Was that the numbers? For shipbuilding capacity?
230 to 1.
230 to 1.
So the numbers are the Chinese can build, and the statistic in the industry is gross tonnage. It's kind of this weird measure of volume. The Chinese can build 23 million gross tons of ships every year. The United States can build 100,000.
And these are commercial and military.
These are commercial ships. These are large cargo containers. These are military ships. These are destroyers. These are aircraft carriers. These are everything.
So I think, when you say that, it's scary. It scares the hell out of me. At the same time, I think about, not to give our government credit, I would never do that. But I mean, China is a major exporter. Right? Mm-hmm. And so the U.S. is not a major exporter. So, I mean, they would need a lot more ships just for all the exporting that they do, correct? Or am I off on that?
You're not off on that. They do need more ships, but if you look at why they've been building out their capacity and how they've been doing it, they've been subsidizing it from the government, undercutting everybody on price, and doing it for a very, very strategic reason. 25 years ago, they had 5% of the world's global shipbuilding capacity.
Wow.
25 years ago. Today, they have 50%.
50%, we're at
50.
0.1%.
We're at 0.1%. That means if you get every single country in the world that builds ships
It
all
matches
lined up
China.
against China, you're just at parity.
Holy
So you better rethink this problem. You better start thinking about autonomy and how to build things differently.
But I just think about the logistics. I just saw this thing on X where China, they're talking about their drone capabilities, and they had something that looked like a beefed up C-17 or C-130.
I saw this. It was like a 737 and all the drones.
Yeah, all the doors open,
Yeah.
the drones all carries up to 100 drones. I think I read, So it just popped in my mind on how logistically will we get the boats where we need them, not just on our shores.
It is something we put a lot of thought and energy into. And as a company and as a country, we need to figure out, going back to the Cuba example, right? We're fighting, we could be fighting something in their backyard. It's not our backyard. How do we get it all there?
Mm-hmm.
How do we make sure we have the superiority? Let's have the deterrence in the first place. Let's get the deterrence in place so that we don't have to fight at all. That's the whole goal behind us building what we're building, how fast we're building it, and at what scale, so that you can actually have the deterrence in place. You can stop this conflict from ever happening. If China wakes up and they're like, you know what? We're going to win today. That's going to be a bad day, because that's the day they're actually going to pick the fight. So our job is to help avoid that.
How simple would it be for China to hack an entire fleet?
You really can't. We're focused on cybersecurity. We use military grade encryption. When you're operating in the military domain, you have to operate with the cybersecurity protocols of the United States government. So those are standard. Those are just, you have to have them. Otherwise, you're not being utilized in the field. Right. So that is something we take very, very seriously. We even take the cybersecurity of our company very seriously, because let's be clear, like, China as a nation state, they've been hacking into companies to steal secrets for years. Like, that's a well-known fact. So we have to think about not just how do we protect our solution, our products in the water, and we talk about how we're doing that with government standards and encryption and everything else, but how do we protect the company? Because the Chinese aren't, I hate to use this term, but they're not fighting fairly. And there's no such thing as a fair fight. You know that. So they're trying to take every advantage that they can. And if that means they can hack into our company and delay our production by 6 months, then they might do that. Right? So we have to make sure that we're protected 360 degrees, product, company, infrastructure, people. Myself and the entire leadership team were, what's the word I'm looking for? We're basically banned from China. I'm blanking on the word. But they put out a term, like, our company and our leadership team is basically banned from China.
Congratulations.
I know. I was like, what the hell? What the hell took them so long? The Chinese have went from this little crappy littoral navy to one that has aircraft carriers, nuclear submarines, and hypersonic missiles in less than 25 years.
Wow.
And they build their military solutions specifically to counter the U.S. We are their focus. And that's scary. So then you're like, once we've kind of put all of that together, it wasn't even a question of, oh, this is cool. I'm an entrepreneur. I want to start a tech company. I want to do these things. It was like, no, we have to start this company. It's not even a question of do I want to anymore. It's a we have to, and it's our responsibility to do so.
Why do you think we are China's focus?
Well, because we're the global power, right? Anytime you're on top, people are trying to take you down, and that's just anything. That's life, that's sports. It's competition, right? And that's been happening since the beginning of human civilization. And the other thing is, look, they look at Taiwan, and they view it as their right to go and reclaim that as part of China. Like, that is fundamentally their right as a country. And the United States does not agree with that.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.